'Twas the night before Christmas and Hanukkah. I used to celebrate Christmas back in the day. I haven't since 2019. It's been kind of odd. Made me miss my family today. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Today I want to take you on the journey that Hashem took me on. When I died in July of 2010, and then I came back, I wasn't allowed to remember anything. But when we all went on COVID lockdown in the spring of 2020, things started slowly happening to me. It was actually probably New Year's Eve, because I was reading my journal the other day, and my journal tells me that this might be when it started. So I'm going to share a lot of things with you guys today. They're personal. They're embarrassing. It's like I was Neo, if you've seen the movie The Matrix, and he gets the phone call in his office, and the people start directing him around, and he just listens. The reason I believe he was listening, the reason I listened, was because I was listening to my inner self. I was listening to the things I was hearing, the input I was getting, and then I was running it by myself to see if I was crazy or not. But intuitively and instinctually, I listened to myself because I knew something was happening to me. So I documented it very, very well. I took screenshots. I've made videos. And the journey I went on is the journey I want to take you on, so that you guys can know exactly how our Creator started communicating with me, so that you can communicate with Him and love Him and feel His love the same way that I do, because it's the best thing that I've ever known in my life, and everybody needs it. Everybody should want it, and the time is now to come clean. And it's not through any Jesus's stripes that you're going to be healed. It's going to be through your own intuitive understanding that our Creator made each and every one of us for a special purpose. And the way that He shares Himself with us is through the inside, through our soul, through our awareness of Him. And He protects us, each one and all, and sustains us. And the biggest lie in the world is that you can put your faith on a man named Jesus and this New Testament of a Bible, and that He will stand accountable for you and save your soul. And that is just not the case, you guys. This thing is huge, but we got to start somewhere. So, like I said, I'm going to take you on the journey I went on. It might be a 2 or 3 part video. Hopefully you'll watch the whole thing and feel my love and the Creator's love, because that's what I'm trying to send to you. So it's crazy. Dig in. Reminiscing on it now, it was like the Creator put me to sleep to this world, this physical world, and awakened me to the other worlds. And then when He did that, He helped me remember and to recall the things that happened to me in what I call the afterlife space place. You see, this afterlife experience was not like anything you've heard of before. And I'm fairly certain I'm the only one in this generation who's experienced such a thing, to be able to come back and talk about it 10 years after it happened. And now for the last almost 5 years, since the spring of 2020. So it's quite the journey, and I wanted you to
sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You've never been on a ride like this before. With a producer who can rap and control the maestro.
Dude, this thunderstorm is coming from every direction because it's all around us. Can't you guys feel it? Holy shit! So this is a lightning from the thunderstorm that I was filming last year. I just stopped it in slow-mo on the computer. Isn't that cool? There it is, see? See it up there in the corner? That was cool, right?
It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. That you can't hold it. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. But you know it's there. Here, there, and everywhere.
So here's the thing. This is why I did that. Early in the spring of 2020, when the creators started communicating with me, one of the first things that I remember journaling before I knew what was happening is this feeling of electricity and energy all around me that hadn't been there before, that I couldn't feel before. I even started wearing hats all the time to keep down, like my hair would get, and I kept it down with hats and bandanas and stuff. I was overcome with the need to do that. So the electricity was one of the things that was all around me. And as you saw in the video, that electricity came into the wire that runs into my house. And so I compared it to the song I Know, which is on the Love Sexy CD. Love Sexy was my first concert, my favorite concert. I saw it at the Coliseum in Cincinnati. Drove all the way down from Lansing, Michigan, to the, I think it's on the Kentucky border. But anyway, it's down there somewhere. It was awesome. I got out of my seat and me and my friend Marie went, I don't know, man. I have to say we were up above, but we were only probably 200 feet from him while he was playing on the piano, and I saw the fluttering sleeves and, never been the same. So anyway, in the song, he says, I know there is a heaven, I know there is a hell. Listen to me, people, I got a story to tell. I know there was confusion, lightning all around me. There was lightning all around me too during that storm on April 7th. And then the lyric goes, that's when I called his name, don't you know he found me. Now, I have another part of the video where I was filming it with the electricity in the storm, and I started saying the Our Father prayer, which of course everybody learned from Controversy. I know I did. So anyway, the lyrics go along with my story in this story that when I was out there, I felt like the top had been taken off the world. It was somehow all around us, and all this energy was just coming in. The song continues with some pretty good lyrics. This is not the original Love Sexy cover album. This is a remake for a remade world, this remade creation that we're in. I don't know about you, but I was there when the first CD came out, and it didn't look like this. It looked like this. Right here. This is the original cover. This is my thumb in the picture holding my cassette copy of said cover. And right here you can see the writing on the side and the Paisley Park swirl. I had somebody try to tell me it was bootleg. This is the original cover, and when you look at it, you can see all this fine print writing all over it and the word yes on the thigh. It goes along with the lyric.
You put my name up on my thigh. It make me dance, it make me cry. And when I touch it, race cars burn rubber in my pants.
Like I said, I'm going to be sharing some personal things with you, and one of those is my Google photo history, because I want you to know I'm telling the absolute truth. In January of 2020, I had never played the electric keyboard before. I even had to take a picture of the keyboard outlet so that I could order a new charger from Amazon, so that's why that's there. And then you can see that I started taking pictures of myself as I was playing keyboard, because I'm like, what the heck is happening? What am I doing? Well, what I was doing was I was being taught or teaching I thought I was teaching myself how to play Purple Rain. And so that's why I started playing the keyboard. There's a whole lot of practices here. That's what those are. I was recording even with the metronome. I was determined to learn how to play. And then all these things started happening. I know these pictures probably don't mean much to you, but as a for instance, I was led to stop watching television in the spring of 2020, but I was looking at things on YouTube and on the internet and doing wild research and wild writings. We're just going slow. When I saw these depictions on the internet, and this was the Super Bowl 2020 halftime show, and I took screenshots of, I think it might have been Jennifer Lopez. I don't know who was doing the show that year, but these were stills that I took, and they gave me this really creepy evil vibe. And you can see I have the arrows pointing at what looks like a cross, and then it looked like this white like man thing to me, and then this yellow circle down here reminded me of the dome of Rome upside down, and then the little white things reminded me of innocent children. I'm telling you what was being told to me as input at the time, what my mind was thinking. I'm not telling you this is the absolute truth. I'm telling you this is what Elizabeth Pride heard in her mind. It may mean something later on in the world to come. This was February 5th, and I had heard in my mind by that time, because like I said, all this kind of started on New Year's Eve, I think, and by February 5th, I had heard in my mind that my son was needed by the Creator as a source of power and DNA. And this was a picture of my son's bedroom, and when I look at this picture, that's what it makes me to remind, is that by February 5th of 2020, these were the things being told to me. This thing is very much documented. Looking at child sacrifice being the same as Planned Parenthood, then and now, Tower of Babylon, then and now. I was just being awakened. You know, it was an awakening process. So I was reading about the awakened man. All throughout my phone history, you'll see pictures of prints. And this one is from early 2020, February of 2020. And I had it in another video the other day because there's things that you want to look at. First of all, there's one shadow prints back here in the back, one back here, and one right here. I'm going to try to keep this video on task, so I'm not going to get into all the multiples, clones, and lookalikes right now. But what I will ask you to do is look at how his arm always had the fluttery sleeves, always the cuffs, the stirrup pants. It's to disguise the non-human-esque depictions. So what I thought was interesting was the depiction of this sun back here, because that's similar to the thing that's on the carpet by the elevator, the sun thing. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. As you go through February, like I said, I was awakening, always pictures of prints. I was feeling like Lady Cab Driver, apparently, so I took some pictures. Throughout March, more prints, more piano practice, more of everything. Even light. Everywhere I would see light, it would affect me, and it was like, I was looking for the light. My mother's birthday is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and every year I would take balloons to her resting place, and just behind where her and my sister are buried is this headstone, and it simply says Prince on each side. My sister died in 92 and my mom in 93, and then together they were put in a plot, and this plot is just behind it, and so it's been there that long, if not longer, that I can remember. So that lets us to know that my life is completely wrapped up with this purpose, and it's a pretty big deal, I think. Got my Prince bracelet and my balloons, and a friend made this shirt for me. It was a combination of the symbol and a P and my last name Pride, so that was pretty fresh. And there's my beautiful mommy. And there's my beautiful sister, Spring. So March 17th of 2020, we're still in with the prints. I set up my room kind of snazzily, I think. Yeah, it was a lot of practice and a lot of electricity going on in there. I had a big screen TV. I had a bumping stereo system that made the floor vibrate. I had a full-size microphone and speakers and a karaoke machine, and pretty much probably could charge for those concerts. It'd be pretty comical. I can't sing, so it's all pretty off-key. But I was doing my thing for show. Got them grandbabies in on the action. All of them. Well, some of them. You can see here that I was practicing more than just Purple Rain. I got on YouTube and I was determined to learn all I could about music. And these are the keys and to the songs up there on the board, because it's like the music is my heartbeat, and that's just what I was doing. It was a really good time. It was so rainy and gray and thunderstormy outside, so I just locked myself up in my big old bedroom, which was like 3 bedrooms in one, and had some concerts. All the while that was going on, again, I wasn't sleeping or eating a lot. I was in trances and I was hyper focused on taking certain screenshots and things that I was feeling. And, you know, here on April 1st, 2020, you can see these strange screenshots. I was in the bedroom and I was practicing the song, The Question of You. And check it out. Even the microphone looks like the gun microphone. In these pictures, I went through and I found the movie and I took these screenshots. This is what I was doing. I didn't have the memory card I have now then, and I was looking and I found these screenshots in my phone, and these are just some of them. You know, I had a pearl type necklace on here that's hanging down. You can see my hair is flipped upside down. It's looking kind of wild. But then I found these. Then I found these pictures where I didn't look human, and nobody was in the room with me, just the electricity, just the songs and the merriment. Let's check out some things. I'll start slow. All I can say is I don't know what this is. This is my face facing that way. I didn't do anything to these photos. They're not photoshopped in any way, but it looks like two gelatinous hands to me in a way. And then you see that my eyes look completely blackened out and it looks like I'm, you know, screaming in horror or something. I'm really don't know what's going on at all. All I did with that is brighten it up a little bit. This is the original version that I found. It's kind of dark. And then I just, you know, turned up the brightness. Here's another one. Those are my hands. This is my shoulder and my head is facing that way. So my head is kind of where it is now, facing that way. And these are my hands. And I don't know why they look the way that they look. This one, I appear to be holding the number 7. Clearly a 7 right there. And I don't know, like I came out of the ceiling in the movie Poltergeist or something. So I had all these things happening to me and I didn't know what was going on. And then I found these photos. There's a few more where my fingers look extra long, like that. And there's one where you can't even see my face. Let's see. And then, yeah, this is me looking forward, straight forward. And then again, here is my mouth and chin right above me. And then I don't know what this is over here going on. Know that at the same time all that was going on, that I was doing these kind of writings. The words social distancing, we were all being told to socially distance, and social and distance were as opposite as two words can get. And then the song Breakdown, they were just making me do this gematria on the board, and I really had no idea what I was doing. The reason you see like a 3 for S and a 7 for 0 in that is because over here in this portion, you see in the Latin gematria, I found this was shown, this list of Latin gematria. So is where A, Q, Y, I, and J would equal 1, B, R, K would equal 2, G, C, L, S would equal 3, etc. So that's what I was using for a lot of this early gematria. So this is the back of like a photography wallpaper. It was like probably 14 feet long, about 5.5 feet tall. And I've turned it over, and this is the back of the photography paper, and I would write on it because the breakdown, the breakdown was coming to me over and over again with you can see the words to the song. Again, social distancing, New Year's Eve, a lot of calculations for New Year's Eve. And these ones over here to the side, the other thing that was coming to me a lot was the Tree of Life, as well as the Declaration of Independence and how many generations it had been since 1776 in our America. So these are the calculations that you'll see off to the side. The thing is, when I would do these strange writings, the song breakdown says, "Listen to me closely as the story unfolds. This could be the saddest story ever been told. I used to want the house with the biggest pool. Reminiscing now, I just feel like a fool." So when you see these words on the side and you see the word unfolds, what I would then do is take the word unfolds and write it backwards. So it would read UNFOLDS, but backwards. And then these words and these phrases and these things started coming to me, and this is really just one picture. So for instance, I took the word purple rain, and this is what I got with those letters. It said ELP and I are up. I didn't choose to do this. It just came because it's probably like 3 or 5 in the morning, who knows, and ELP's Elizabeth Pride and I are up. So these kind of writings, they're all over the place. So at the same time I was playing the music, you can see that here in the spring of 2020, March, April, you can see how many studies. I have New Year's Eve helix lies over here written on the board. You can see the calculations for the Declaration of Independence and how many generations we are away from that. You can see my Bible. This is the one I've had since 1999. I now have a new real Hebrew version with English on the other side. And I don't read what they call the New Testament anymore, but I certainly have. So these are just a lot of the studies that I had going on. And again, you can see with the music, with all the things that I was hearing internally, with the trances that I was going to, with the backwards writing, hearing about New Year's Eve helix lies, lie of Lucifer over here on the side. I didn't choose to write it. This just came out of me. Another thing that was happening at the time is I had gone to Maui in August of 2019 for 2 weeks and stayed at the Wailea Beach resorts. And so a lot of the things about that trip were coming back to my memory. It was just reflecting in the writings that I was doing. And when I was doing Purple Rain, you can see the word turned into Elohim and Eloha, which is very close to Aloha. And I was vibing with all of these understandings that, because I had a great deal of happening spiritually happen to me in Maui. So a lot of the writings that I was doing in early 2020 had to do with Maui. So I still don't know the deeper reason for that, but it has something to do with the Creator. I'm fairly certain. One of the things that I wrote about a lot, I wrote was like the infinity loop, the 8. I was writing about writing about Adam and Eve's love, very strange things. Like I would write Orion's belt, Prince in chains, Prince's firstborn, 3 chains of gold, like strange things like that. You can see, this says Betelgeuse, is that how you say it? The star in Orion, and it's upside down, but it says Prince, Nest, Life, Orion, Nebula, Elohim, the One. These are the things I was writing in like a trance, and you can see the upside down writing to go with it. As the writings go on and on and on and on and on, I will spare you up into August. They started to get a little more intricate and a little neater because I started to understand a little bit what I was doing. Another thing that I would do was look at the various Prince album covers and names and titles. And for instance, here with Glam Slam, what kept occurring to me was the I am portion. I am. So if you were to cover up the GS of Glam Slam, it's the I am. He's telling us I am, and that it's electric. So this is what I've been doing with my lockdown. Not that I've been locked down or have ever worn a mask, because, I just don't like rules. Anyway. So I made all these drawings, and I was filming them, and a lot of them had to do with Maui, and the way I would see the man of the bust. Just some interesting pieces here. This thing I drew right above my head, it represented like water and electricity. This thing here above my head I drew under a trance, and it reminded me of the infinity, the 8, underwaters. The Creator was communicating to me with this is what I heard. I'm not saying that he said it, but what I heard in my mind was that whatever was going on in Maui, it had to do with Orion, Like the song 42,000 feet above the sea, that's where you and I first came to be, from the dust of the earth and the knowledge tree. It's in the song Ti Amo Corazon. And yeah, and that's what it all reminded me of, was this trip to Maui, the energy that I felt out there, because it's a long story, and I probably told it on other videos, how I like completely vibrated and meditated on the beach in Wailea Beach and had all these things happen to me. So during this time in 2020, these reflections were coming back to me as well. And the other thing is that the Maui map of the man, the green one that you see up here, it's the shape of the Prince bust. Every time I would like watch Prince and they just shot him from the bust up, it looks the same as the shape of Maui. You see how the green is like the bust of a man and then the head. And so apparently I felt the need to get down on the floor. Here's the bust, the green bust, and then the head. And so I was redoing it with the Infinity 8 symbol around the neck. And at the time I was hearing, I can't breathe. My voice has been cut off. And like there was like this choking, I don't have a voice is what I was hearing. And then so I took the affinity thing and put it around the neck area. And then this one is trippy, you guys, because this one I was listening to the musicology CD. And for every little squiggle that you see in this picture, it was like I had headphones on. And the guitar was making like a beat. And so I was in a trance, and I did this like circle and all with these everything, and what you see around it is, what do you want me to do, girl? They're like lyrics and stuff like that. I can't explain them all, but yeah, that was under a trance. And so it reminded me about the water and the energy in Maui. In this map, excuse me, this drawing right here with the pink, this is the constellation Orion with all the stars. I got down on the floor and drew that one day. Mind you, all these things started happening to me. I did not choose them. I'm crazy, but... So this was, I think, March or April 11th. April 11th, and this is what I was looking like, because I was extremely confused as to what was going on. But I knew that something outside of my own power was speaking to me. I could hear it, I could feel it, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, very early on, it was like Neo, when he gets the phone call, I was being led. I ran it by my own conscience. I pulled out my Bible, my writings, all the way back to 2013. I have writings from when I first started studying Kabbalah and the Tree of Life and stuff like that, and so I started doing that so that I would know I wasn't crazy. This one I actually did in 2013. So some of this stuff wasn't completely foreign to me. It's not like I was poked and said, hey, work miracles. It was just like a very slow, very gradual learning and a very slow understanding of the Creator communicating to me from within, because the more I listened to myself and the communication that we were having by exploring the numbers and the prayers and being put into trances and stuff like that, the information is just communicated to me. It's not, I don't know, that's the only thing I can say, communicated. And your girl went to town. I mean, I go to town. When I do something, I try to do it right. So there's a lot of it. As the weeks tick by, you can see it's April 12th, and I was watching things governmental and the Pope, and looking at mathematicians and different things I won't delve into right now. Tree of Life, Hebrew letters, the alphabet. I was doing all kinds of stuff. That's April 14th. Here we push right up into April 15th, 2020. And of course, it's always filled with print stuff. You can see where I was comparing the old cover with the new cover, doing Tree of Life stuff, looking at the Simpsons prints, etc. All the red and black symbols here were telling me at the time I was communicating that something bad was going to happen to Prince. And it was also communicating to me that it was going to come from Asia. The thing that was interesting about that, because when I was in Maui, there was a lot of Asian influence. All these images are from Maui, and you'd think that you were somewhere, and I know it's Polynesian, but it's not Asia. And so the messages I were getting were about Kim Jong-un in North Korea being the beast from the east,